Police Commission. Acceptance of minutes both of December 16th, which was an executive session to do interviews, as well as December 18th. Any questions, comments, additions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Chief, correspondence.
Couple items. Lawrence's funeral home was very generous over the holiday week and dropped off a gift card for pizza for us, but as the commission knows, once again, we can't accept gift cards by town policy. We would turn that over to Human Services Department, which I believe we've done already. So thank you to Lawrence's funeral home. That was very much appreciated. We sent a thank you note off to them, and numerous families and organizations in town also dropped off goodies throughout the 2 weeks of the holiday period. So we appreciate them and all the support, and we sent thank you notes off to them as well. And then lastly, this is kind of hot off the press. I think we got this yesterday. One of our elderly residents of Allen O'Neill Drive had an incident in which her doctor wanted us to follow up and check up on her after not hearing from her for a while. And she met Officer Ackerman, Matt Ackerman, and Officer Mora. And she was so impressed by them and thankful that they checked up on her that she sent a voicemail to the on-duty supervisor. And I'd like to just recognize the great level of service that both Officer Ackerman and Officer Mora provided. Sometimes we don't know how much of an impact we're actually having on different types of incidents, and clearly it was a positive outcome for this particular resident. So good job to Officer Ackerman and Officer Mora. That's it for correspondence, I believe.
Captain, Department Activity.
Okay, this covers the period of December 17th to January 14th and was prepared by Lieutenant TJ White. On December 21st, patrol officers responded to a residential burglary at a Mansfield Ave residence. It was determined that the suspects broke the glass on a rear door but did not appear to make entry into the residence when the burglar alarm went off. This incident is currently under investigation by the Detective Division. On December 21st, officers responded to the Country Club of Darien on an assault between coworkers. A Norwalk man was arrested for assault third, strangulation second, and disorderly conduct. He posted bond and was released with a January 9th court date. On January 11th, a resident reported jewelry being stolen from her Middlesex Road residence during an open house showing. The incident is under investigation by our Detective Division. Statistics during that time, we had 8 domestic disturbance incidents, 2 domestic violence incidents, 4 identity theft incidents, 1 stolen motor vehicle, which was unlocked with the keys in it, 20 motor vehicle accidents, 4 with injury, 9 on private property. There were 227 traffic stops and 1,150 calls for service. Also during that same time period, probationary officer Isaac Cadigan continues his field training assignment, and upon successful completion, he will begin solo patrol at the end of this month. Members of the patrol division, in concert with the traffic division, Officer Budd, continue to utilize target areas to address citizens' complaints about traffic issues and are making traffic stops in those locations. And then multiple officers took part in a Coffee with a Cop event hosted by the residents at Sellex Woods on Friday, January 9th. That's it.
I just have one other item I wanted to add. I don't know if any had seen the press release from the U.S. Attorney's Office this week, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Back in May of 2024, a Bridgeport man was arrested for trafficking fentanyl across southwestern Connecticut. An investigation that had gone on for several months, and he had just pleaded guilty back in this past October. And this week he was sentenced to several years, five years in federal prison. And the reason I bring it up is during that investigation, we had members of our detective division and also Officer Cummings assisted in the investigation for several weeks. So great job by them. And they were working with FBI, DEA, Stanford Police Department, Bridgeport Police Department, U.S. Marshal's Office, Norwalk, Danbury, Connecticut State Police, and again our officers. So great job, great work to those guys.
public comment. We have people here, but I think they are for a item on our agenda. I don't see anybody else here from the public, so I will go to old business.
Yes, so I put on there an increase in the amount for the dog crate. Originally, Canine Officer Nair wanted a specific crate, and turns out the canine that we have is much larger than the crate we were going to purchase. So we have to upgrade a bit, and it's going to be about $500 more to get the crate that we need.
This is the crate
This is-
for at home. So he's borrowing a crate from a Stanford officer right now, and apparently
Right.
the dog can't even fully lay down in it, but does so willingly. So we want to make sure he's as comfortable as he can be. I mean, it's not, there's no chandeliers or air conditioning in there, but it's a bigger crate that is going to be required, so.
And for the public, when do we think Ranger, our new dog, is going to be out and about?
Several more weeks.
Yeah, probably
Oh,
at
springtime.
least another month, at least. So he's still getting some training and
Growing.
growing and learning, yes.
Hopefully he will stop growing, but hopefully he,
But yes, Officer Nair provided a nice letter to the commission if you need any information on the reason we had to
And I think
upgrade a
we will need
bit.
to vote on the increase of the funding for
Oh, we need,
that equipment.
okay.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we increase the crate fund by $500 to fully accept our very large new canine.
Second.
All those in favor? Building issues update. I don't see Captain here, but,
He passed along that he didn't have any new information for us.
well, that's excellent. I'll quickly skip over that then. Traffic issues, we have 805 Post Road, and we have people here to bring us up to speed. The latest and greatest from 805 Post Road, which is downtown next to Starbucks, and they've been here before, but we were looking for updated information with a new traffic study, so I will turn it over to you all to
Okay, all right,
drive the bus and introduce yourselves.
sure. For the record, Scott Hesketh, I'm the traffic consultant for the applicant.
And I'm Mark Project, General Manager of Standard Patrol.
I'm not sure how much you want us to go into. We showed you the plans previously, and we had prepared traffic impact reports and submitted them to the planning commission. They had H&H review of our information, asked for some additional information, so we formally responded to that. There was really no change in the capacity analysis, the levels of service, or the results. I mean, we're at we've got a proposed gas station at a signalized intersection, and whether the counts are 10% higher or 12% lower, we got the same general results for the capacity analysis. Our driveways
It's
are.
about 18% higher, is that right? From the first
The traffic volume counts on the second counts are about 18% higher. Yeah, but the capacity analysis indicated that we had queues at the signal, and they blocked the driveways in the original application. And the original numbers, they block them in the additional numbers. The delays might be slightly longer with the higher numbers, certainly.
What's slightly longer?
I mean, you've got. The intersection delays at the intersection are in the range of 30 seconds on average. So,
That's Sedgwick and Post Road.
well, we look at the overall intersection delays. And that'd be about.
That'd be that intersection, yeah.
Yes, the intersection would be at Route 1 and Sedgwick. So, but I guess we want to rehabilitate the store, add some vehicle fueling positions. Actually, it's the same number of vehicle fueling positions, but it'd be more convenient to access the site. Let me just pull up the plan so you can.
So can you comment on, H&H made a comment on the road going to Sedgwick, specifically going from a level of service E2 and F. Comments on that?
Yes, there's a couple of extra seconds of delay on that approach, and it trips over from the level of service E to F. That's correct.
Okay.
based on the analysis which we've done. But again, we assumed that there was no gas station traffic whatsoever, and then we added 100% of the site-generated traffic. Our background conditions, the store was closed. Our combined conditions, the store is not open. Except we've got a store which could be open and generating traffic, and that would be part of the background conditions. We didn't analyze that. Okay, so I don't...
And just on that same note, I want to let you present, but on that same note, I know you're not required to do this, is my understanding from planning and zoning from the town, but the intersection of Mansfield and Post Road, we had spoken about this last time, where I said, you mentioned all lights sync on the Post Road, technically correct, but that light there is an exclusive pedestrian crossing, right? So if I hit that button, it takes, as we discussed last time, 3 cycles, according to the state of Connecticut, for it to resync. That's not taken into account in either of the studies, right? I don't think you're required to, but I'm asking.
Well, in order to take that into account, I'd have to do a corridor-wide study. I'd have to do all the intersections, have counts and information at all the intersections. We didn't look at that. We looked at the intersection in front of our site and just added our site in. Yes, if you have, if the signals are in a coordinated system and you have exclusive pedestrian phasing and someone activates that, then it extends the phases, or it takes a while to get back into sync, as you said, because the traffic at that one location tends to back up. They need longer times to get the traffic through, so it has a domino effect, and it does take several cycles to sync back up. That's correct. That's correct. Just quickly, we've got, again, this is the existing site. We've got a gas station, a service station building up front. We've got another garage site building in the back. We've got 2 pump islands, or 3 pump islands here with 6 vehicle fueling positions, but they're in line, so it's difficult to fuel 6 vehicles at a time. Basically, 4 is all you can do. We've got the 2 existing driveways to Route 1, an existing driveway here to Sedgwick. In the proposed plan, we're proposing to demolish the 2 buildings, move the building back into the rear of the lot. We're going to reconstruct the fueling islands here. So there's going to be, again, 3 pumps, still 6 vehicle fueling positions, but they're going to be in parallel so that all fuel pumps can be used simultaneously. We've got parking across the front of the store, and we've still got the 3 driveways which are existing to remain.
Did you recently change that? I thought I saw an email about that driveways going narrower.
Based on some comments from the Department of Transportation, yeah, this driveway got slightly narrower.
How does that impact traffic in a positive, negative way?
It really doesn't
at all,
impact the traffic whatsoever. It impacted the delivery vehicle slightly,
Yeah.
where the delivery vehicle was using a little more of this area here. So,
What was the, I don't care about I care more just about traffic, but why close that? I mean, more something to do with the site?
the Department of Transportation has regulations about how wide a driveway can be.
Okay.
And things
All right,
like
so
that.
more of a tech.
And it was wider than they currently allow. We were trying not to touch them, because once you start touching them, then they start coming in with other regulations, but they suggested that be narrowed up to, I think it's 30 feet now, so.
Right. I think
So
it was
we-
only like 31 before.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that impacts traffic at all.
If it's,
That's a
oh,
different.
I'm sorry, if it's narrower, is it, you're still allowing 2 vehicles in and out directions?
Yes. The way we have it now is that this is a 2-way driveway as it is currently. This is a 2-way driveway as it is currently, and this driveway at the Sedgwick would remain a 2-way driveway. Now the fueling positions are going to be farther removed from Route 1 to allow a little more room to maneuver in this area, so it should be easier to navigate the site. And there was some discussion last time we were here about should we limit turning movements into one or all or some of the driveways. And it's been our opinion that to do that would cause restrictions on the way people can access the site. Again, because some people fuel on the right, some people fuel on the left. Maybe the traffic is backed up across one driveway but not the other. And if that was the entrance drive and this was an exit drive, then I couldn't get to it. But maybe the queue clears out.
One thing to keep in mind too, I mean, there's really, on the Post Road, you have 3 driveways that are adjacent to each other, right? So you
You do
have
have-
5 Post Road, and then you have Starbucks,
There's
which
a
is
Starbucks driveway
equidistant
there.
pretty much, right? So,
Yep.
so what are your thoughts on, we spoke about limiting left-hand turns, right? So if you have 3 cars trying to get out, you have a landscaper fueling up, trying to get out across that road, 3 cars are trying at one time. As a traffic engineer, I think that'd be fine, given that there have been
Again-
23 accidents, I think, reported and 1 pedestrian, is that right?
I think there were a number of
At that
accidents.
intersection?
There were a number of accidents at the intersection itself. There was one accident related to our site itself, and one accident involving a bicyclist in the area. But there's not a significant accident history in terms of this site. Of course, you know, well, I'm not sure when they stopped. When did you close it up?
July 31st of last year.
So that was last year.
So what's your professional opinion about that, having 3 driveways in a row, theoretically, people all trying to make a left, or even just making a right?
Again, this is Route 1 in the downtown area. You've got driveways everywhere. I mean, it's the way of the world.
But we also have downtown, a lot of areas, I think P&Z went over this with you, I don't have the specific roads, but Day Street, you have a bunch of different areas where you can't make a left-hand turn. That's not nearly as congested as this area.
Yeah, I think it'd be better to allow them to occur and see what happens than just lock them off, because you create difficulties when you start restricting turning movements, which can be done. People tend to ignore the restrictions and do it anyways, and then you create a situation where
But it's having more conflict
you
points.
folks have to get involved.
There's more conflict points, more problematic though. And that's
Less
at a
conflict
stretch like
points
that.
would be best, certainly, but you
Yeah.
have to be able to access the sites.
Have you used the site before?
Yeah, basically what I thought.
Generally, when the backup occurs, obviously it occurs here from Starbucks. That's where the traffic is the backup. That's the exit you want to prevent left-hand turns from, or is it this one that you want to prevent?
We originally, you asked for, we hadn't decided on that.
Yeah.
I'm just giving our recommendation. You asked for preliminary comments.
Yeah.
We wanted to wait till the second study, but we wanted to give you some sort of guidance as to how we're thinking. But
I mean,
we
the
don't
com-
have anything official yet. Yeah.
First and foremost is, we've been having meetings with the town for quite a few months, and I'm looking to work with the town as much as possible. We have in the Architectural Review Board, the zoning commission the first time, we're trying to work as much as possible to make this happen. So by no means am I like, no, we don't want to do anything, we want to keep it in and out. That's not our stance whatsoever. The one thing I really don't want to do is change the size of the building. But what I am willing to do is work with the town regarding these exits and entrances. The comment was made after last meeting of, let's give it a couple months and then come back to it if there's an issue. We're more than willing to do that after the fact. Say it's 6 months after, hey, we need to make this no left-hand turn, or we want to make this only an exit and this only an entrance. We're okay with having that conversation after the fact, if something needs to be done. The engineer did state, that they think it also should be that way, where we see what transpires, let the customers decide, and if it's convenience. So if it's not convenient, customers aren't going to go. What I do think with the change in the layout of the dispensers, the way that they used to be being parallel with the road, is that caused more issues more than anything, because you weren't able to actually pull in if cars were stacked up side by side. Never mind the fact that there was 20 parked cars on the property as it was. With the change in layout and the dispensers the way that they are, you'll have 6 cars being able to park and then stack another 6 cars up on top of that. Now, I don't think that will necessarily be the case. You're not going to have that all the time at all. But I do think it will ease traffic coming in and going out of the site with the way that the dispensers are set up.
What's the difference, or what's the distance from the entrance to the pumps? Like, what is that? How much space is there?
So from this actual curb cut to that's not actually the dispenser, that's the island itself, is 24 feet.
Okay.
So you're talking, from the road is 25.7 feet to that island. So with a car pulled into that parking space, you'll be able to have another car stacked up right along behind it. And there's two-way traffic around the dispensers. So you'll be able to, it's not, if the cars are lined up, you can't get to the parking spots after. There is still room for two-way traffic around the dispensers if there's cars at the pumps.
Can you tell me how you get a fuel truck in and out of there?
There's a couple ways to do it, but the plan is to come from Sedgwick and then around.
So pointing out there. So you'd have to, if you're coming from the Norwalk side of the Post Road, you take a right on Sedgwick and a left into.
Yes. Now,
And
I don't-
you're limiting the hours too. You have certain hours that you're doing that. Not limiting your schedule.
delivery, the delivery.
Early in the-
Look, nobody wants to drive, you can't send a driver down 95 during the daytime. Nobody ever wants to do that. I will only be scheduling these deliveries at nighttime or off hours on Sundays because the traffic is just terrible.
You mentioned that last
Yeah,
time.
that's not, it is going to be, and just like we own the station 1927, we own a station in Stanford, it's always nighttime hours. Now, a driver with no cars on the road, he may back right to the pumps. But it is designed where they can come in on Sedgwick and go around.
And that turning radius is fine,
Yeah.
assuming there's no cars.
Right.
So, what are your thoughts? I mentioned this last time, I'll give you more thought as well. Directly across from 805, I think it's 800 Post Road, where the DSF is. And
The street parking.
Yeah, the on-street parking. And the concern there was emergency services vehicles, right, particularly from the fire department. Two concerns there. One, with Cedric going from an E2 and F rating, right? It's a volunteer fire department, so not necessarily it's fully staffed. People have to get there. That's number one. And then number two, if you're not limiting left-hand turns coming out of there, right, there could be on-street parking there where nobody gets by and it queues up further. You have thoughts on that? And it queues up, it already queues up close,
100%.
in front of the fire department already.
A lot of that on the street.
Chief there wants to get a, do not block the box. That's how bad it is already.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think a lot of our issue stems from Starbucks, whether they park right in front of that, in the no parking zone, right in front of our station, right on that
They
corner.
cut in there, yeah.
I mean, I understand that it is a busy section. Now, that's kind of the issue where if we limit these driveways and you have a customer coming in, if you have the right of way, you're gonna be able to go into that first intersection. But normally, if it does stack up, you're entering from here. It's just the natural path. Now, whenever I leave the station, especially when there's stacking that occurs right here, and I catch the light, I'm sneaking out and going left that route. So there are ways to do it. No, you can't do it at all times, but
Yeah, you have the parking there is what I'm saying, right?
the parking across the street isn't normally the issue. The parking, if anything, stacks up here. They don't normally park here.
I'm sorry, I'm talking eastbound. So eastbound traffic in front of 800, I think it's 800 Post Road, right across from 805.
So right,
There's on-street parking
Correct.
there, right? So if I'm trying to make a left and I have cars that are parked there or using the other businesses, right? I'm gonna be stuck in the westbound lane.
The
Trying to
only,
get out, right?
the
So I'm
only
asking your thoughts on
issue,
that, that's all. Yeah.
the only issue is if, like you were saying, if you can get a car around that.
So your thought, I know your thoughts are that, hey, that's the Post Road, that's how it is, but other areas of the Post Road downtown, we can limit the no left-hand turn. That's really,
If there are vehicles parked, well, you took, that's not on that side. If there are vehicles parked across the street in the parking lane, you can certainly make a left turn in and a left turn out, and they do not impact you or affect you.
It's only if you're
I'm
in the emergency
asking if you
situation.
left leading.
Or
to
if
the
somebody's
westbound.
trying to take
You
a
can make a
left.
left-hand turn out while people are parked across the street. You can certainly do that. They do not impact you, do not affect you whatsoever. What would affect you is if there's people parked in here and there's a queue,
Right.
That's-
then
That's
you're
okay.
not gonna get out. But if there's a queue, whether or not there's people parked there, you can't get out.
Right, so should you limit left-hand turns then?
I don't think so.
Three driveways?
I don't think so, because one, it's a convenience store. If you can't make a left-hand turn out, you're not gonna go there during peak times when you wanna make a left-hand turn.
I mean, a lot of,
But there's gonna be 10 or 15% of the population who are gonna do it, regardless of whether you guys say we can do it or can't do it. Now, I don't know if we wanna stop them from doing that. It's never a good idea to stop someone from doing something they can easily do.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
realistically,
If you had a barrier,
Well, you
median,
can physically restrict it.
you can restrict it, but they're going to do it.
well,
No, like if you're in front of Trader Joe's, there's a barrier that can only
If you-
let them
yeah.
turn right.
Okay, well, I have your thoughts, you guys might.
Well, the thing is, then if we start putting barriers up, medians in the islands, we're not gonna be able to get a service truck in there to fuel the thing. That's one of the issues. Okay, if you've got,
I mean-
in a perfect world where you've got 300 foot or 500 foot or 700 foot or 1,000 foot deep lots where you can have, and you've got lots that are 5,000 feet wide, you can place your driveways far from the intersections. You know, okay, this is downtown area, and I know I keep saying it. It's Route 1, yes, it's a busy road. We've got small lots, intersections, traffic signals. I mean, the situation occurs lots and lots of places. Would it be nice to be able to have just one driveway? Sure, but it's gonna be difficult to get, you're gonna have one driveway, then you're gonna say, okay, it's right in only, right out only. And then you're gonna have a facility that's not as viable. And does that make sense? Now, he's got an existing shop. The reason he's here in front of you folks is because he's got to redo the tanks. Now, he can redo the tanks and put them back exactly where they are, and we wouldn't be talking to anybody. We'd be moving on, and he'd go on doing his thing. And I mean, but he's trying to make this a better shop, a more convenient place to get into and out of, providing more room on site, more circulation, be able to service more vehicles so that there's less congestion on site, so that it's less likely to spill off site. So, I mean, again, and he's willing, if it becomes an issue in the future, we're speculating about issues, and he's been open for how many years?
20 at least.
20-something years, and I don't know if it's been a significant issue. Are there accidents? Anytime you have traffic volumes and conflicts, you're gonna have some accidents. But, I mean, he's willing to look at it again in the future if it's an issue. We don't think it's gonna be an issue. We hope that you folks would agree with that. And I think H&H made that suggestion, was signing it, changing it, restricting things. Doesn't seem to make sense. They said, I think their recommendation was to take a wait and see attitude and see how it goes. And the applicant's comfortable with that.
Is there going to be any, like a fence in between your property and the Starbucks parking lot?
they actually, ARB doesn't want it. ARB actually would prefer if we put a section for sidewalk for people to walk to and from.
So I'm talking like,
Between Starbucks and the property.
because you know what's going to happen is people are going to park at your spot and walk over to Starbucks.
It's gonna happen for both. I think the Starbucks lot, the same.
So there's no barrier in between, not even a hedge or anything like that.
They wanna put a sidewalk in between the two. I mean, a big thing with Darien is walking traffic, and that's what they want customers to be able to walk through downtown Darien and come into the convenience store and, you know, go to Starbucks and get a cup of coffee.
Without going out to the road.
Well, it's usually both spaces, rather than go out and come back around to have an internal.
I mean, I absolutely
Makes sense from
know it's
pedestrian
coming.
standpoint.
You're gonna see it regardless. We can put signs up and try and prevent it, but it's gonna happen. It already happens.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, that was kind of the thing where, even in the past, we had customers where they would get gas and they'd run across. And now with mobile order, you can have your coffee ready to go and get your car.
Okay, but I think you're gonna have people parking in your lot in front of the convenience store, and they're just gonna leave their car there, and they're gonna go and spend 45 minutes at Starbucks with their buddies or friends and have their coffee.
Yeah, they do Dunkin' Donuts today, CVS, all that.
Yeah. But that's not us problem.
That's not-
I know
A lot of problems, but that's
But it
not
could,
one
it
of
could
them.
impact traffic, it could.
Well, as you know, we will send our thoughts to planning and zoning. The ball will be in their court. We try to stay in our lane, no pun intended, which is traffic. And we appreciate you guys coming back.
Well, we were hoping that you can make a recommendation similar to what H&H did, because I think the last time we were in front of planning and zoning, they said, we have two different opinions from the two people that we're looking at, and we don't want to make the decision.
Well, I will say that we did have a meeting with the state of Connecticut, who was largely in line, with our letter, in agreement with that. But we'll come back to you after we discuss it and send you our thoughts.
Okay, and that's the other,
To plan and zoning.
that's the other thing to remember, is that the Department of Transportation makes the final
Yep.
decision on what happens out there. Certainly looking for your input as well
Yeah.
on that. And, if they tell us, close one, close the other, come through here, that's what we have to do.
You guys have a long ride. Appreciate you coming up. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate being here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We will get our message to planning and zoning, I think before the 20th, you guys.
Tuesday night. yeah.
Tuesday, we will be.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And if they have any questions, they can come back to us too.
We can work.
Much appreciated. Yeah, I think the hearing's kind of closed, right? I think.
Oh, we were approved an extension. I'd like to close it.
Well,
See you guys. Thank you.
Thank you much.
thank you. All right, now all of this, I lost my phone. Got it. New business. Is that all for traffic? I'm sorry.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. We are a regular meeting, so we can add if we need to. Chief, is this you for new business?
Yes. Sergeant Benedetto has reached his anniversary of being promoted. I guess that was a year ago, December. So I recommend to the commission that he move to step 2, effective on the 22nd of this past month.
I will make that motion.
Second. With pleasure.
All those in favor?
And again, speaking of time moving so fast, once again, Records Clerk Michelle Gironda received an award of excellence from NIBRS, which is the National Incident-Based Reporting System that's run by the FBI. They keep track of crime data, including incident type, crimes within the crimes, victim information, offender information, arrests, and they track property that are involved in these criminal incidents. And Michelle virtually made error-free submissions for another calendar year. That's 2 years in a row. Probably longer, Rick, right? She's been getting that award pretty regularly.
I know, it's 2 in a row.
It's at least 2 in a row now, yeah. So congratulations to her. And once again, we thank her for her efforts. She is, and I think Captain Hedema could attest to this. She's not just our records clerk. She does a lot of miscellaneous things for her. We had a meeting regarding a topic in town, and off the cuff, I asked her for some statistics, and she came out with 24 reports in a matter of 20 minutes or so. And she's helping out with our social media team, and
She's very helpful, very involved.
Yeah, so
We appreciate it.
appreciate all her effort, and clearly outside of our agency, she gets appreciation as well. So great job, Michelle.
Well, indeed. That, we come to the end of our meeting. Anyone else have anything? It is a regular meeting. I can't believe we've actually landed on the day, but.
Right.
We will go into executive session for discussion on personnel matters. We will do no business coming out. So with that, we will pick a next meeting date.
I think Rick has informed us that the next regular meeting will be February 5th.
I believe that's it, yeah.
I'm going to be in London, so.
I don't be in California.
I can't foresee anything pressing happening right now unless it has something to do with hiring and
Yep.
interviews and stuff, but we normally schedule those outside of our regular meetings as well.
So after that, it would be the 19th.
Yes.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
So I'm not here, but you all can definitely have a,
Well, that's
Do it-
February break, right?
yeah.
Yeah, how about the 12th?
Yeah, that's probably better for me too. Can you do that?
12 sounds good for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is for me, but since I hear that it's good for 2 of us, that is a quorum. So let's plan on February 12th. And if we need to move it, we should. For that, we are adjourned.